À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage EAP, décollage. Les paramètres à bord sont nominaux.
And there she blows, hauling herself against the gravity of the Earth, all 780 tons, the equivalent of 2 jumbo jets. After the initial 6-second vertical climb, we rotated to the east, and we're now heading out over the Atlantic. We're burning 3 engines, 2 on the boosters and 1 on the main stage. We can just hear her flying over now. The huge rumble. Beautiful sight.
Les paramètres bord sont nominaux.
Yes, what we hear is mostly the noise of the booster's engine providing 90% of the thrust. Right now, the total thrust after liftoff was 1,300 tons, which is enormous, like the power of 12 jumbo jets together. So it's enormous. Each booster, to give you an idea, burns nearly 2 tons of propellant per second. So that's enormous. For 2 minutes they will do that, and they will allow the launch vehicle, as you see, which is already 40 kilometers altitude and approaching the 2 kilometers per second speed. So it goes very, very fast.
And it's incredible to think that those boosters are burning at temperatures in the motor of 3,000 degrees, and yet they're next to the tank, which is of course cryogenic and very, very low, minus 250. So all eyes after launch on this screen on the left-hand side. This is the trajectory, or the curve as we call it. Can you explain it to us, Jean-Michel?
Yes, of course. The plot underneath at the top left is the intended flight path, the very same program we have loaded on board the launcher itself.
And here we're seeing separation of those boosters. So they go falling back to Earth. They've burnt all their propellant. We don't need them anymore. And Ariane's lost about 2/3 of her body weight. If you take a look at the tip of the launch vehicle there, you'll see what we call the fairing. This is protecting the satellites from the rigours of the launch.
Yeah, like it did on the ground. It's also doing the same job during the flight, first against acoustic and also the very heavy friction of the atmosphere at this speed. You see, we are above 2 kilometers per second.
2 kilometers per second, and we're going faster and faster. Here we have separation of the fairing. We're technically in space. We don't need the fairing anymore. There's no friction anymore, and it's quite incredible to think that it's just taken us under 3 minutes to get there. So we're now burning the main stage, the core stage. This burns for about 9 minutes, and we are being powered by the Vulcan engine.
Yeah, this engine is very powerful, 136 tons of thrust, which is relatively modest when you compare that to the 1,300 we had liftoff. But then remember, the launch vehicle is also much lighter. So that is enough with a 9 minutes of thrust to get there, to get us where we want to be, means higher and quicker.
And of course, as we go through the flight, we're burning fuel and losing weight. Now, remember Lumpolshausen. We're sporting the colours tonight on Ariane.
Whoever wants to present the world from this perspective was most probably given the